Alrighty, y'all, just give me a moment. I'm gonna send out a link. We're gonna be talking about Marvel movies shortly. Discords for the copy and paste. Stop. Let's get it all. Let's get the sites out everywhere. One out and then we'll go from there. Give a little bit more time, we're gonna get it all figured out, and then we'll start talking about the movies. How are we doing tonight? How are we doing tonight? Alright, let's do this. So where we last left off, I was trying to get it all done in one stream. Couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I wanted to. I really did. Well, we've got more to talk about. There's a few of these that I'm really excited to jump in and kind of run through. Because I think some of these movies, especially last left off, I was trying to get it all done. These recent ones are going to be a lot of fun to talk about. I couldn't do it. Thunderbolts. I wanted to. I really did. There's some strong feelings more to talk about. There's a few of these that I'm really excited to jump in. This is also the time when I started. I really started watching these movies because I think some of these movies, especially these two recent ones are going to be a lot of fun to talk about. I didn't watch Black Widow. I wanted to. I decided not to do strong feelings more to talk about. There's a few of these Black Widow movies. I'm really excited to talk about the time when I started there. But let's I really started watching these movies. I think some of these, especially I think what's interesting, these recent ones are going to be a lot. talk about actually mental widow and some wanted to I decided to use Ghost for other parts of my what a movie runs there. What's Ghost? I really started watching the man. I think some of these especially one time I don't think we know Ghost. Mental widow and some wanted to I decided to use Ghost for other parts of my what a movie runs there. I really started watching Ant-Man. Like, what made Ant-Man one time I think we all know Ghost. I just don't I wanted to I decided to Ghost it takes something Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Far from home. I don't enjoy it in talking. I don't like talking about this movie, honestly. Far from Home's a rough one. Let's keep going. I think it's tough talking about this movie specifically. Because on one hand, in talking, I don't like talking about this movie. If you take it as a movie, it's fine. It's fine as a narrative of what I think it wants to be. I think it's tough talking about because Spider-Man movie. I can't stand this movie specifically. I cannot stand this movie. Because on one hand, I don't like how they made Peter. If you take it as I don't care for I don't care for elegance, it's like fine as a narrative of what things. There's so much in this movie that just irritates me. The story itself is fine. I cannot stand the thing that I should care about. I just on one hand, I don't care. I don't like how they made Peter. If you take it as I don't care for living in the shadow of our ideas, it's like there doesn't make there's so much it doesn't make for a compelling narrative. It makes sense for the character because of the thing that I should care about. Homecoming and the others and Homecoming. If you take it as a shorting the shadow of our ideas, it's like there doesn't make there's so much it doesn't make for a compelling narrative. There's not a lot of for the character because and the should Homecoming and the others Peter wants to coming and shorting the shadow of our ideas, it's like there's so much it doesn't make for a compelling narrative. There's not a lot of compelling for the character because Peter and the should Homecoming and the others Peter wants to support and shorting the shadow of our ideas, it's like there's so much there's not a lot of compelling for the character in this movie because Peter and the should Homecoming and the others Peter wants to support and shorting the shadow of our ideas, it's like there's so much there's not a lot of for the character in this movie because Peter and the should Homecoming and the others Peter wants to support and shorting the shadow of our ideas, it's like there's so much there's not a lot of for the character in this movie because Peter and the should Homecoming and the others Peter wants to support and shorting the shadow of our ideas, it's like there's so much there's not a lot of for the character in this movie because Peter and the should Homecoming and the others Peter wants to support and shorting the shadow of our ideas, it's like there's so much there's not a lot of for the character in this movie because Peter and the should Homecoming and the others Peter wants to support and shorting the shadow of our ideas, it's like there's so much there's not a lot of for the character in this movie because Peter and the should Homecoming and the others Peter wants to support and shorting the shadow of our ideas, it's like there's so much there's not a lot of for the character in this movie because Peter and the should Homecoming and the others Peter wants to support and shorting the shadow of our ideas, it's like there's so much there's not a lot of for the character in this movie because Peter and the should Homecoming and the others Peter wants to support and shorting the shadow of our ideas, it's like there's so much there's not a lot of for the character in this movie because Peter and the should Homecoming and the others Peter wants to support and shorting the shadow of our ideas, it's like there's so much there's not a lot of this, by no intents and purposes, should be the cameo fest that it was. America Chavez is an alright addition, actually. She's not the worst ever. But Steven's arc specifically, I think, is what is so redeeming there. Along with a Scarlet Witch. We can't talk about this movie without talking about Scarlet Witch. I think Scarlet Witch is fine. I think the reason that I feel so strongly with her specifically is mainly due to visually how creative they decide to kind of weave her arc in the way that they kind of frame her so that way you can figure out what's in the dream world and what's not. I think Doctor Strange is a fine movie. It's a movie. It's almost pretty good, but there's just the Illuminati and all this, that, and the other. I don't think that worked out well. I think I like the end credit scene with Bruce Campbell. I think that's really fun, actually. Give me more of that. Of just kind of pointless end credit scenes. Fantastic Four did the same thing. I love it. If you were to put a gun to my head, and ask me, what is the worst Marvel movie in the MCU? It is absolutely 100% Quantumanium. Quantumanium is so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I hate this movie. I cannot stand Quantumania. This is what sold me. I never want to see Ant-Man again. I never want to see him. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see his daughter. I don't want to see anything to do with that character ever again. This movie turned me off from him so completely. I cannot stand it. The jokes suck. The story sucks. Paul Rudd looks weirdly sickly in this movie, and I hope he's okay. But then you butcher Kang the Conqueror as well. Why are we butchering Kang the Conqueror? Why is he an Ant-Man villain? Why does he lose to Ant-Man? When you boil it down to like general audiences, it doesn't make a lick of sense that Ant-Man should do it, and so he's not really this big threat. And Loki puts in some overtime to set him back up as a villain, all for Marvel to not use him again. Because Scott Lang's writing a book, he's talking about this, and like, oh yeah, no, we won, right? We won, da da da. And he's like, right? And then this entire thing. So you set Kang back up, but it's like, Loki's got no reason to be afraid. So when you see the credits scene with him freaking out because he sees Kang again, well, people hadn't watched Loki, then why is he freaking out over a guy that Ant-Man just took on? Because Loki has a lot more power than Ant-Man does. I cannot stand this movie. This movie sucks. This movie's awful. People who like this movie should be ashamed of themselves, because I have yet to meet one. I hope I never meet anyone that likes this movie because they're wrong. I am okay. I think I'm okay leaving this movie right here. And the best. And I think it is better than the first Guardians. This movie sticks the landing so impressively. And I think it's what helped sell me on James Gunn taking on the DC universe. If you were to ask me which movie sold it, it would be that one, because I was still kind of worried about 1 and 2. being where he would have taken like Superman and stuff like that. And I was 3 is what kind of cinched it for me. Like, we're gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. I think the finality of this movie is so important. This is the last time we're gonna see this version of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they frame it that way. Of a new adventure awaits for the Guardians, but it won't be the one that we know. And so many of them get their finality and their happy endings that won't be part of the Guardians anymore. It's so emotional and so raw with these characters. The soundtrack is phenomenal. I've said it for the first 2. I'm going to say it again here. Also for the ones that are tuning into the stream that don't understand. I've seen Guardians 2. I don't remember it very well. I'm very overdue for a rewatch on that. But Guardians 3 is so interesting in that it's hard to say goodbye to those characters because it's one of the only teams that I think really feel like they care about each other. And I think that's why they had to go. I think that's why they had to. Because no one's going to do those characters like James Gunn does those characters. Just straight up. Like, there's no one else who's going to be able to do the Guardians quite like him. The Russo brothers proved it. They just completely assassinated the character arc that Peter Quill was going through. I mean, it's embarrassing how they did that. Like, it's not good. It's not good. I don't care for it. It just sucks. The Guardians 3 shows why James Gunn is the only one who really should be doing those, should be really touching those characters. I'd be so okay with them never coming back. But then we got the little end credit that said Star-Lord will return. And so it's whatever. But I'm allowed to be disappointed by that. Because I don't want to see any of these characters again. I like where their stories ended, and it should stay there. Until the soft reboot. But then you can recast the Guardians and do it all over again. And that's totally fine. I'm so excited to talk about these last 5, though. So I'm not going to put them in order yet. Because I just want to yap. I just want to yap about these ones for a while. We'll start with the Marvels. I watched this movie once. When it was in theaters. And I convinced myself that I must have fallen asleep somewhere because it was not making any sense how this movie was moving. Genuinely, it feels like there was a lot cut that should not have been cut. That would have made this movie a lot more coherent. Because there are times where we'll cut from one scene to another and something should have happened and I don't know what that something is. It's, we're here again, but why? And so, if your movie's making me question if time has passed, you did something inherently wrong. Wicked Part 2 actually does this. Where you sit there and it's like, what do you mean time's passed? What do you mean that things have happened and time has progressed? Because at no point did you ever make that clear that things were happening. That all of a sudden I'm looking at this movie and I'm like, I don't understand how we got here. I don't get it. Like, I don't know. Like, I thought I zoned out. And then I was asking my friend who had watched it with me, and he said the exact same thing. He didn't know. Point A to point B, how did we get here? There's no line. It's like you just went down the bullet points, like, okay, but we need to flesh it out a little more. The Marvels does not do that. Brie Larson in this movie feels like she got a paycheck and that was it. It's so so I don't like it. I don't like this movie. Um, but there are good things to it, and that's what's weird. Like everything with Ms. Marvel is fantastic. This should have just been Ms. Marvel season 2. Give me more of Ms. Marvel. She did great. What a good character. What a good character. I liked her show. I liked her movie. Actually, I don't like her movie. I liked her in this movie. But like, why on God's green earth? Why did we cut so much that the story no longer feels like a story? What a bum movie. What a bum movie. I mentioned earlier that No Way Home switches in the second half. Deadpool and Wolverine is a textbook example of a movie doing that. In the first 20 minutes, it sets up something really, really special with Deadpool about, you know, giving him a little bit of a setup for an arc of I want to be a hero, but I don't know how to do that, and a little bit of loneliness, and it sounds good and it's great and it's wonderful. Deadpool and Wolverine's first 20 minutes is spectacular in all the ways possible. We can get a movie, and then all of a sudden it switches, and it goes into the I forget what it's called. The Void, I think? I don't know. So it goes and does that. And it just falls right off a cliff. Until they finally figure out what they want to do. And it is a love letter to 20th Century Fox. And once it hits that, something about me, something in me got so nostalgic for those characters. Especially in the end credits scene for that one, or just actually not even the scene, the end credits themselves. I think is really interesting that you can sit there with Deadpool and Wolverine and go watch that movie and feel, yes, I do remember this. I do remember all these fun characters and getting their closure, and then I forget what the song's called, but they play that like one kind of emotional song, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is saying goodbye to the Fox universe. How cute! I like that. But like, the love letter part of it doesn't necessarily feel like a good narrative. It's kind of interesting, but like, it's not really a narrative. It's not really a story. But I like that. Like, I like that about Deadpool and Wolverine. Marvel's is... What's going on here? Ms. Marvel is the only reason why it's going above a hot, flaming, steaming pile of trash. Like, I'm okay with that. Deadpool, Wolverine, though, we're gonna stick. We'll stick it there. We'll stick it there. That's okay. Deadpool and Wolverine is just... I don't know. I don't know about Deadpool and Wolverine. It's a fun finale. It's a fun kind of put to rest for 20th Century Fox. It is funny. It is a funny movie. There are a lot of jokes in there that make it laugh, but its rewatchability is god awful. You cannot sit down and rewatch Deadpool and Wolverine. You watch it the first time and it's great. The second time, nothing hits. There is not a single joke in this movie that lands when you watch it a second time. Anthony Mackie deserved better. No further questions. But the whole reason that I wanted to do this tier list, and I'm going to be totally honest because I didn't want to make two separate videos about the Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four. And so I decided I'm going to make a tier list out of it. I'm just going to talk about all the movies because I wanted to do everything before Doomsday. We'll add Spider-Man when Spider-Man comes out in June. But right now, sure, why not? The Thunderbolts. A ragtag group of heroes that I could not give two shits about, and by the end of it, I want more. this movie is so good. Actually, we're gonna put Fantastic Four as well. We're gonna place those, then we'll talk about it. The Thunderbolts specifically, I was so impressed. I walked away from that theater. Well, actually, let's talk about when I walked into the theater. I didn't think this movie was gonna be very good. I think the promotional for this movie was so ass. Oh, it was awful. The Thunderbolts had no reason to succeed. But the fact that they kept the name under wraps for so long, I'm very impressed. We're not in No Way Home days about the world's worst kept secret. I think Sony leaked. I think Sony leaked. Those behind the scenes, those people would go and watch the movie. That's my theory. Because no one would have watched No Way Home if they didn't know. I think they would have eventually. Like it would have been an exponential growth. Like it would have gone and then just shot up once people started realizing, oh, the other Spider-Men are in there. How's it going, King Matthew III? How are we doing? We have completed the tier list. I'm just giving my other thoughts on Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. If you want to go ahead and take a look at the list, we can talk about any movies that you want some further thoughts on. But right now, I'm just kind of wrapping things up. But right now, we're kind of talking about the Thunderbolts and their how they were able to keep the new Avengers name hidden for a decent amount of time until they switched the promotional material about 1 week after it came out in theaters. So that's where we're kind of at. But I think these two movies were just slam dunks. Honestly, I think Thunderbolts was really good. I was really impressed with it, and I think the only thing is I kind of wish Ghost had a little more to do. She was in the promotional material. I mean, they didn't really try to hide it, honestly, that she was not going to make it through the movie. They absolutely did not hide the fact that she was never going to make it. She was kind of a one and done, and the way that they set up the promotional material definitely set it up to show that. I also have problems with the Winter Soldier and how I still have to see Thunderbolts, but the one Marvel movie I enjoyed this year was Captain America: Brave New World. I enjoyed Red Hulk. So I've got different feelings about it. I think it's average. I think it's an average movie. Like it's not bad. I think a lot of people were kind of overblowing the flaws of the movie. But man, I wish. Actually, I don't know my thoughts on it quite well. I think Harrison Ford was a great pick for Red Hulk. I think the messages in the movie are fantastic. But I kind of wish that it rode a little more on what Falcon and the Winter Soldier set up for Sam Wilson. I think Sam Wilson. I think as a debut movie, I just wish it was a little stronger. I wish there was a little bit more with him. He almost felt preachy in this movie, in a way that I wasn't really a fan of. But, and I say that in lowercase letters because it's really not bad. It's really not bad. Like I don't think any of the Marvel movies that came out this year were bad. Just straight up. Truly, in my heart of hearts, I don't think so. But I think Red Hulk is an interesting pick for an antagonist for this movie. Then there's like the CGI was a little rough around the edges at times, but then when the CGI looked good, it looked damn good. So there's also that, right? I think out of the three that released this year, I think Captain America: The Winter Soldier, um, is a bit weaker, but it's not by a whole bunch. It's not by a lot. I feel like they should have brought back Sam Elliott back to Red Hulk, since Sam Elliott was the OG General Ross in Hulk 2003. It would have been awesome. It would have been awesome to see him return. I absolutely 100% agree. I 100% agree with you. I think that would have made a lot more sense. Harrison Ford did not need to be in the role. I think if you're going to replace Sam Elliott with someone, Harrison Ford is a fine pick. But you could take any old actor with silver hair and put him in, and you would have gotten the same result. So that's how I feel about it. Um, but Red Hulk looked really good in this movie. Um, I think that's the nice part about it. Is he does look really good in that movie. Like when the CGI looks good for him, it's always good. But then there's other times where I'm sitting there. I think back to like the cherry blossoms. Like, oh, this looks too obvious, of green screen. Like, what are we doing? Um, but no, I remember like when critics were coming out, it's like, oh, this is awful. What an awful movie. What an awful movie. Like let's go to Rotten Tomatoes really quick. Because if I remember correctly, it was like below a 50, and that is, I don't think that's right. You know, um, like if I were to give it a score, like it's gonna struggle here, but like this movie was so overhated because I watched it, I was like, you know what, actually this wasn't half bad. Like there's bits and pieces that was like, I don't know about this. But then like Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier, comes in, and I think that makes a lot of sense. See, like I think 75 is very fair. I think 75 is very, very, very fair. Like it's not awful at all. It really isn't. But like 46%, come on. Come on. You're telling me that only 46% of movie critics thought that this movie was good. Like 46% out of the 367 think that gave this a positive review. Like, shut up. No. No, 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 no. That's not. No. No. Not at all. But like 75%, like, I think that's fair. Like, that makes a little sense. That's how I feel anyway. Um, Overhated. I think people were too harsh on this movie. I think people were looking for Steve Rogers and didn't get him. Um, there's no reason to be hating that movie as much as people do. I've got a little bit of time. I have like four. We're gonna wrap up Fantastic Four. I'm gonna make this really quick. The bar for Fantastic Four, so low. The bar is so low for these movies. Like, Fantastic Four is not by any stretch. Has not had a good movie. I think the first one is fine from 2004, but it's not good. I really like this movie. I was not disappointed by this movie. I think it has such a strong message with its cast and with Sue specifically. I think they do really well to characterize her. I think that worked out really well. I think this is the best Johnny that we've ever had for live action or otherwise. I think he's fantastic. He does really well in the role. Joseph Quinn just embodies this kind of hot shot, but I like the fact they also bring in this guy's smart. Johnny Storm is a smart man. I like that the Fantastic Four First Steps does that. Galactus is fun. The Silver Surfer's arc is fun. It's really well done, really well written. I adore Reed Richards in this movie. I think they did a fantastic job with him. Pedro Pascal's still not my first choice for Reed Richards, but I think he performed the role very, very well. He did really well. And that is a really, I think it's a really telling, I don't know the words that I want to say for this one. I think that it's really telling that he can go in there and just kill this role. Because I think everyone saw Pedro Pascal as like really him. And he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad at all. I don't care for the Doctor Doom credit scene. I know it makes sense. Like if he was gonna pop up anywhere, here it made sense. Fantastic Four, yeah, that's where he was coming. I don't think there was any doubt walking into that movie that we were going to get our first look at him quickly. But we should have seen him a little more throughout. I wish they stuck with Kang. I really wish they stuck with Kang. I think it made a lot more sense to keep Kang in there. But like, Quantumania fucked it up. You're never coming back from that. The pivot makes sense. Why Marvel pivoted was not because of Quantumania though, which is unfortunate. But yeah, no, you can try Kang again some other time, but it should have been like Thanos, where you get little glimpses of him here and there, and then eventually he comes in with his movie, does his thing, bada bing, bada boom. 1 and 2 later, good to go. But I think Fantastic Four overall does a really good job. I think it's a really solid movie. I think it understands the Fantastic Four. And Michael Giacchino is so good at what he does. Because the theme is so unique, but also it's bubbly and whimsical. I think that really works for the Fantastic Four. I'm really glad that this movie was good. I'm glad that the Fantastic Four was a good film. But guys, that is where we're gonna leave it. We are gonna leave it right here. I'm really excited for Spider-Man. I have a lot of reservations about Doomsday. I'm quite worried about that movie. Because this is a stream for all the movies before Doomsday, aside from Spider-Man, like I said, we'll visit this list again when the new Spider-Man movie comes out. But I'm gonna be totally honest. I think Doomsday might be set to fail. I think the cast list is too big. I think they're trying to fit in too much cameos. I think the Russo brothers have lost the plot a long time ago, and they have long since lost control. They have long since lost control of how to make this finale work. From the look on this list, I mean, like you can tell where they start getting a little lost. I think they started really getting it for the Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four, and we'll see with Spider-Man, and we'll see with Doomsday. But I'm worried about that movie. I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy it by the end of it.